The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second webinar of this evening. That is a part of our APhA ASP webinar series, and this week is a focus all about chapter leadership positions. This webinar right now is going to focus on our membership vice president and running successful membership drives at your chapter. My name is Crystal Atwell, and I serve as the Director of Student Development at APhA. And tonight you're actually going to hear from Brandy Hamilton, your current national president. But before we get started and I hand things over to Brandy, I just want to run through a couple of logistics. So Brandy, if you could advance the slide for me. Tonight you can listen in one of two ways. You can either listen in using your microphone and speakers on your computer, or you can listen in using the telephone. And you'll note that right now everybody is on mute. However, we will have an opportunity for you to use the raise your hand function and ask questions later on if that works for you. Do note if you're going to use the raise your hand function, just make sure that you're in an area where it's quiet, we're going to be able to hear you, and that your speakers work effectively. Otherwise, if you don't want to use the raise your hand function, you can just type in your questions using the question field. And if Brandy, if you'll jump ahead to one more slide. We will be taking questions throughout the presentation tonight, so feel free to type those in. There will also be a period at the end that we'll have for Q&A, and we'll take as many questions as we can. But in the event that we don't get to your question, please feel free to send any that we don't get to, or maybe any that you think of after the end of the webinar, to that address that you see there on your screen, aphaasp@aphanet.org. And with that, I will turn things over to your National President, Brandy Hamilton.
Thanks, Crystal. We're going to get off that picture really quickly. We're going to start things off tonight with a poll question. So Crystal's going to run that for us.
All right, your first question for this evening is, what is your level of experience with membership promotion at your chapter? I'll give everybody just a couple more seconds to respond. All right, and there are the results that you see on your screen, and it looks like most people have the majority of people, this is going to be their first time participating in the membership drive with 79%. All right, so back to you, Brandy.
All right, thanks. So just a quick overview of what we're going to do tonight. I think I just got unmuted. Quick overview of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about some resources available to you as a membership vice president. We'll look at some of the hard resources like paper, physical resources, and your online resources. We're going to talk about membership drives. We're going to talk about the fall drive that you've got coming up immediately, and also the spring drive, which is going to focus on your final year student pharmacist and the dual membership. Then we're going to go on to member engagement. So once you've gotten everybody to join, how do you keep them involved and keep them engaged? And then finally, we'll have some time at the end for questions, question and answer, to get any extra questions that you guys may have taken care of. So let's start with our resources. We're going to start with your membership toolkit, and you're going to find that on pharmacist.com, and in just a little bit I'm going to show you exactly how to get to that. This is your detailed how-to for membership recruitment and retention. It's got everything you could possibly need to be a successful membership vice president. It's going to have instructions just for logistical operations. It'll have a calendar month by month, what you need to be doing as a membership vice president. And also remember that your chapter advisors are a great resource. You need to be able to turn to them, build that relationship now so that you can go to them with any questions or concerns, or maybe some logistical just speed bumps that you've gotten in front of you, how to get around those. They're really great resources that should be available to you much more readily than maybe some others. Utilize your new practitioner mentors if you have them. If you don't have those at your chapter, visit with your advisor about how you may be able to recruit a mentor from a new practitioner. Also, look at your regional members at large. We're actually going to hear from one of your regional members at large later on this evening. They're a great resource, and they are well-versed in all things membership and communications. Also, us, your national officers, you can contact me or any of the other 4 national officers, and we are happy to help you. And then finally, our APHA staff. They're a great resource to go to if you find questions that you can't get answers to other places. They are there as well to help. So I just want to show you quickly, this is the table of contents in that membership toolkit. I wanted to show you that so that you can see just how much is there. It really does have absolutely everything you could possibly need to be successful. Everything from what your job should entail, your position description, which you probably already know, but just in case, it's got that detailed out for you. It's got all about dues, benefits, incentives and awards for your chapter. It's got everything you could possibly need, how to plan an activity or an event, how to keep records, how to take care of your paperwork and keep that all nice and organized. Again, everything you could possibly need. And here in just a little bit, I'm going to show you how to get there. So let's talk about your online resources. I encourage you to visit pharmacist.com and just take some time to click around and really familiarize yourself with pharmacist.com. It's the hub for all things APHA ASP. Anything you need to know on how to be a successful chapter leader is going to be found there on that website. It's going to have information on all of our projects, our meetings, scholarships, you name it. It's got contact information for your regional and national officers as well as the student development staff. It's also got a lot of chapter resources like forms, membership materials, and things like that. So let me show you how to get around pharmacist.com to get to where you're going to want to probably go first. So when you log into pharmacist.com, this is the screen that you'll get. So you'll just roll your mouse over that Get Involved tab right there. When you do that, this is going to drop down. And the next thing you'll do is click on APHA ASP. When you click there, it's going to take you to this screen. You'll scroll down just a little bit to APHA ASP Chapter Officer Resources. When you click on that, you're going to get a long list of things, and just scroll down till you get to membership materials. It's got, again, everything you could possibly need. You'll see lots of forms there, depending on what type of program you have. If you have an NDC school, and that's National Dues Collection, if you utilize that program, or if you don't, it's got forms specific to that. And I want to highlight again, your membership toolkit is on that section as well. So anything you need to access on that toolkit is right there, and it was just updated on August 19th, so it's fresh, everything is up to date. So let's talk about your membership drives. This is kind of the bread and butter of what we do in our membership promotion. So let's start with your fall drive. That's what you've got coming up right now. You're going to have membership materials coming from APHA. They just shipped last week, so you should be getting those shortly. If you don't know where to look for those, they ship to your primary chapter advisor. So you'll want to contact him or her to find those materials and see if they've arrived. In there, you're going to find folders for new members. It's got all kinds of information about APHA ASP. It has a welcome letter. In that box, you'll also find the forms that you'll need for the potential members to fill out. So everything you need to have a successful drive is in that box, and again, it should be arriving very soon. So let's talk about how to get students into APHA ASP. If you have a new student orientation, and I think most schools probably do, if you can utilize some of that time and get in front of those first-year students, maybe take some time to share some member stories and talk about the things that you guys have done as members of APhA ASP and what you've enjoyed about it, what it's meant to you. And peer pressure absolutely works. I'll tell you, I don't mind telling you how I came to join APhA ASP was very, very simple. I got to my student orientation, someone got up in front of me and said, everybody joins this organization, so join it. And so I did. It was literally that simple. Everyone's doing it, so I did it. So yeah, utilize that peer pressure. Make them understand that this is what everyone needs to join. Welcoming socials are a great idea. A lot of schools do an ice cream social, get everybody together and get to know one another. We do a cookout. We actually have our cookout tomorrow night, so we're going to go do that and welcome all the incoming students. It's a great way to network and socialize, kind of a low-pressure sort of environment, and get everybody together, make the new students feel welcome. I think we all remember when we were first-year students, we were a little bit wide-eyed and nervous. So it's a good way to make them feel like they are a part of your school and make them a part of your chapter. Another really cool idea, if you can utilize the time, is to make a promotional video or a slideshow and kind of show what your chapter does, show the fun that you have, the great work that you do, and show these potential new members what your chapter has to offer. Next, let's go to your spring drive. Now, this is going to be directed at the students who are entering that final year of pharmacy school. We would like you to focus mostly on the dual membership. It's a great way to ease that transition from student pharmacist to new practitioner. Now, the dual membership is going to cover us as in our last year as student pharmacists and our first year as new practitioners. And by signing up for this dual membership, we get a 19% discount on our membership dues. And it's one less thing you have to worry about when you're transitioning to life as a new practitioner, which is a little bit daunting enough as it is. So this is a way to simplify it. In addition, you get a free copy of the APhA Complete Review for Pharmacy and free shipping, so that's a really great benefit. You also get NAPLIX review questions from Pharmacy Library. You get 300 bonus questions for signing up before the deadline for that dual membership. I signed up. I'm really excited about my study materials, and I think it's going to be, it's a really great benefit, and I'm looking forward to utilizing that. And we encourage you to promote that to your students who are entering that final year. Another great benefit of this dual membership is you get professional liability insurance as a final year student pharmacist and as a first year new practitioner. Again, one less thing to worry about when you're starting your life as a pharmacist. So something really cool to do to promote this, this dual membership, to get your spring drive going, is to have a live on rotation meeting. It can be, we usually do it like a separate meeting from your chapter meeting. Bring in all those students who are about to be in their final year and bring in someone who is in their final year. Have them talk about what life on rotation is like. Talk about what, what the different types of rotations they're doing, what they've been like, what they've enjoyed, what they kind of wish they had known going into it that they know now. Just different things like that, pointers, tips. Something that I have found useful, we don't necessarily see everybody doing, but I think is a really neat idea, is if you can get a new practitioner to come in, maybe somebody who's graduated from your school, maybe your new practitioner mentor, and have them talk about what life is like on the other side, so to speak, after graduation, what things are like, and again, things they know now that they wish they had known then. That was one of my favorite meetings of the year, and we certainly encourage you guys to do that. It's a really great way to get those students engaged before they enter that final year. So some updates for this year that are very important. The student outreach visits, the deadline for those was today. So if you use those student outreach visits, if you have us come and visit your school, it's really a great way to promote membership. We'll come in and we'll talk, we talk to your chapter members and promote APhA ASP. It's just one more tool that you can use to improve your membership numbers, to get people engaged and involved. Just make note that November 22nd is the deadline for the final year student pharmacists to log in on pharmacist.com to receive their complimentary NAPLIX book. And we also want to tell you guys this. You've had some paper forms in the past for signing up members. We're actually going to a new transmittal process, so if you have any of those forms left over, please do not use those. You will get the correct forms that you need with your fall membership materials box here in just the next week or two. So again, if you have any of those old forms, go ahead and get rid of those so you don't accidentally send in the wrong form, and just use the ones that are on their way to you right now. Now we're going to do another poll question.
All right, and our second question involves incentives. So here's your second poll question. How does your chapter incentivize participation in chapter activities? I'll give you a couple more seconds. All right, it looks like almost everyone has logged in their answer. And here are your results. So a majority of people use a membership awards program, and then followed closely behind that, it looks like people use a combination of all of these. So back to you, Brandy.
Unmuted.
Thank you, ma'am. So now we're going to talk about ways to keep your members engaged. You know, you've had your membership drives, everyone's filled out their membership form, everybody's joined, we're all excited. So now what? Let's start with your chapter meetings. These are one of the most important ways to keep your members involved. To get people in the door, I recommend food. Free or very inexpensive is always a bonus. Something you might consider doing is to either partner with a local catering company or a local restaurant chain to get a discount on food, or to get food sponsored for your meetings, or something that we do, and I think some other chapters do as well. We have area pharmacies sponsor our meetings. So we have pizza. That's our thing. We have pizza, and a pharmacy sponsors it, and in exchange for that sponsorship, we give them about 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning of the meeting to talk about any kind of topic that's important to them. I remember one meeting we had Pharmacy A come in, and they sponsored our pizza, and the lady from that pharmacy got up and talked about some interviewing tips, because she works in an HR area. She's a pharmacist and works in HR, and gave us all some really great interview tips. So just some things like that, and that kind of leads me into the next point there. Have some varied programming. You want to have chapter updates every meeting. Give everybody updates on what's going on, what you've been up to, what's coming up next, but then try to have something varied. Have speakers come in. Again, that really stood out for me, that talk on interview tips was really engaging. We've had people come and talk about some charitable organizations that maybe your chapter could be a part of. It's a really great way to open up your chapter members to different things, different opportunities, different aspects of pharmacy practice, and really the sky is the limit. So take advantage of that and try to create opportunities within those chapter meetings. Something a lot of chapters do to encourage member involvement is a point system. So some ways that members can accrue points are with chapter meeting attendance or participation in your chapter events. For example, your patient care projects. And the way a lot of these chapters reward those who have accrued these points is with financial assistance with the mid-year regional meeting and annual meeting attendance. So that's a really great way to encourage people to stay active, stay involved, and also Member of the Month and Member of the Year awards, which a lot of you guys are doing. So really great way to show that your members that you value their participation and you value their membership. People like to be appreciated. Next, work with your executive committee. Yes, you are the membership vice president, and it does come primarily on you to take care of this, but you work with a committee. And your SPAN liaison can help you out. Your chapter president can help you out. You guys can work together to really be a dynamite membership team. So get together with them, brainstorm ideas, and maybe do some service projects. Get your members involved in cleanup events. Get involved in something that's already happening, or set something up yourselves. Get everybody out and involved in the community. Also, your patient care projects. Encourage your members to really, they spend all this time in a classroom. Encourage them to get out and experience their education. They've joined this organization, and we want them to get a lot of value out of the experience. And that's some place that you can really make a difference. Next, let's talk about mentorship. This is something that, that a lot of schools do, and where I go to school we do this as well. You pair a first-year student with like a second or third-year student who has some experience and have this mentorship program. This was so fantastic for me, again, as a wide-eyed, nervous first-year student pharmacist. My mentor was fantastic. I knew her a little bit in undergrad, and we got to know each other really well. She gave me some great study tips, some of her old study guides. You know, we're girls, so she gave me cute little pens and paper and stuff like that too. Really great thing, and she ended up being such a good friend to me, and it was such a valuable thing, and it seems so simple, but it can really be valuable. It can really help engage those first-year students especially. And, you know, second and third-year students, sometimes we get a little, you know, tired. We've been studying really hard, and it's a good way to kind of refresh us along the way. So it's something I found really valuable. Also, your mid-year regional meeting and annual meeting. These are such wonderful opportunities to get your chapter members involved, not only with your own chapter, but with the country, with your area of the country, and with the entire country. Again, we talked about offering financial assistance for attendees, and maybe you want to use that point system to determine what level of assistance the members get. So ways you can do that is have fundraisers to kind of raise money to help students attend those meetings and make it a more valuable experience for everyone. If you have chapter funds provided by your schools, try to utilize those as well. I know it really helps a lot of people to really take that step and to go to those meetings for the first time if there's a little bit of help on the financial side. So if you can do that, it's a really great thing to offer your members. And while you're at those meetings, try to have some activities on site with your chapter. We like to go to MRM a day early and have dinner as a chapter the night before. Maybe you guys can plan some fun activities during some downtime. Sometimes, you know, there's usually a night off where you don't have some meetings going on. Try to get together and go out and enjoy one another as a chapter, and it's a really good bonding opportunity. And again, it adds value to the chapter members' experience. So right now, I would like, if we could, to hear from our Region 1 member at large, Ms. Lucy West. She's got some really great ideas on how you guys can get your members engaged as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy. I hope you can all hear me well. As Brandy mentioned, I am the Region 1 member at large and want to give you some tips about member retention. As we all know, college students love free food. I know that when we tell people at Northeastern that we're having pizza at our meeting, we get a lot of people to attend. However, it is really important that once we get them there, we use the meeting to get people to stay involved and participate in our events, because the numbers in retention mean nothing to us if the people aren't actually being active and aren't getting everything out of the experience that we actually hope they are. Something that our chapter has found really helps with retention, especially with our younger students, is to make them feel like they're doing their part in the success of the projects. And we do this by simply delegating tasks to them. So if people aren't as involved or if they're new members, simply asking if they'd like to take on a certain job or contact someone gives them something to do. And this usually keeps their interest and keeps them coming back. Another reason why some people may not be as involved or may not come back to the meetings is because they haven't found the right place within your chapter. We all know that APhA, ASP has so many opportunities, and whether this person is a policy guru, if you will, or if they're more interested in community outreach, there is a place for them. So something that we've done is started to, at one of our first meetings, have roundtables, and at each of the roundtables have the different options within APhA ASP. So you'll have each of your patient care project chair committees or committee chairs, your policy vice president, your international vice president, etc. And you can give the students a certain amount of time to visit with these tables and learn about the projects. Then at the end of this, you can ask students if they want to sign up for these certain committees. And this just makes them aware of all of the opportunities within your chapter and really allows them to determine their niche. I'm sure that if you lay all of these out, everyone will be able to find something that works for them within your chapter. Finally, something that Hudson University from Region 1 started, and they saw a huge increase in their retention rate, was starting to use surveys. So instead of just getting feedback from your e-board or your advisor at the end of the year, you can get the feedback from your entire chapter. You can have the chapter members fill out a survey at the last meeting of the year, and this can just evaluate your chapter's performance of the year. So you can use these survey results to set your goals and objectives for the following year. And this will make everyone feel like they're really involved with the growth and success of your chapter. So making people feel important will definitely keep them coming back and interested in your chapter. So those are just a couple of ideas that I found have either worked for my chapter or other chapters, and I hope they definitely work for you and your member retention.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I really appreciate that. Some really great ideas. I hope you guys took some mental notes there. I certainly did. Really good ideas. I love the survey thing. You know, we do that at the mid-year regional meetings. We do that at Summer Leadership Institute. That's a really great way to gauge how you're doing and find opportunities to improve what you're doing. So we're going to do our final poll question, and this is about social events.
All right, so final poll question for your evening. And the question is, how often does your chapter host social events? Your options are, we currently don't have social events, once a semester, monthly, once a year, or other. And I'll give everyone a couple more seconds to answer. All right, it looks like almost everybody's logged in, so I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And here are your results. So it looks like a majority of people at 43% have at least one social event a semester. All right, back to you, Brandy.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk about social events. You know, you do a lot of great work as a chapter. You're involved in patient care projects. You're out in the community doing community service, and that's all wonderful. But you know what? Sometimes we just need to have a good time and enjoy one another. So social events are a really great way to get your members involved, kind of help decompress every now and then. Sometimes school gets a little bit stressful. So what I recommend that you guys do is to, at the beginning of the semester, go ahead and schedule out those events. Something really helpful if you can do it, get a hold of the exam schedule for every class year, for every class, and try to schedule periodic events. You know, try to aim for, you know, if it's monthly, if it's every couple of months. But look at that test schedule and try to line it up to where no one has a test the coming day. Especially if you can get it right after everyone's had an exam. Everyone loves to get together and just have a bite to eat. Again, decompress, just, you know, de-stress for a little while, and it's a really great way to get everybody together, let everybody have a good time, and get a lot of value out of their membership. One thing you might consider doing is an admission fee. It can be member versus non-member.